Jody Barrett, he's running for the recently vacated congressional seat of Mark Green. What's up, Jody?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Let's play a little word association.
All right, let's go.
Bobby Kennedy.
Good guy.
Operation Warp Speed.
Not so much.
Fluoride in the drinking water.
Get it out of here.
Geoengineering or chemtrails?
Absolutely real.
Absolutely real. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's a real thing. We have documentation to prove that.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, we're trying at the state level. I think, the eyes are being opened. You mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene earlier. She's putting legislation forth on this at the federal level. I think ultimately all of this has to end up in the president's desk and him understand what's really going on and buy into it. Just like we saw in TVA in the Cheatham County fight. Once he gets involved, things happen. And so I think that's where you really are lobbying a party of one there to try to get the president to understand how big a deal this is.
We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. We love those guys. Water filtration systems, water softeners that can clean out anything up to and including goldfish. BetterWater.com. Oh, what? I'm just saying they're good at what they do. Has nothing to do with anything we've talked about.
Nothing to do with it.
Completely unrelated.
Unrelated completely.
For the people that just tune in at 9, you missed a lot. You missed a little. You missed a lot. I love Dan.
So good.
You know to save that episode for the best of. Whenever the next best of is, I better
absolutely.
hear that one twice.
Yeah, I've already spammed Zix and Sam a couple times.
Earmark it. That was good. That was good. I love it.
I'll make the whole segment a hockey.
I love
Mother
Dan.
Flusher is the best.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love Dan Mandis on so many levels, but he is the funniest guy. He is so funny.
And he doesn't know that he's funny.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's we don't understand how good we have it having Dan Mandis as the host of Nashville's Morning News.
So good.
We're not worthy. You guys understand that, right?
Absolutely.
We're not worthy. We got Mason Fleming producing. We got Joan Jones in the newsroom. We got you guys on the phone lines, the text line, the YouTube chat, the Rumble chat. Give me a call, 615-737-9986. Hit like and subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. I got a lot of kids that I need to feed. And if you don't want them to just have bread and water, we got to get those likes up. We got to. It's for the kids.
For the kids.
Don't do it for me. Do it for the kids.
Do it for the kids.
So I guest hosted Turning Point last night.
How'd it go?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
I thought it looked great.
Joe Bob, my friend Joe Bob had a baby. It's a boy.
Had a baby eats a boy.
Do you remember that?
Yes. I
Like the
love that.
1-800-COLLECT commercials?
Yeah.
My kids, people don't understand the 1-800-COLLECT. Not even just my kids. I think like Bo and Gabe, who were in here yesterday, don't understand the 1-800-COLLECT. Would you accept a call from, hey, it's Bob, we had a baby, eats a boy? Oh, geez. I remember that time.
Such a good.
So good. But he had a baby. And I mentioned this last night on Turning Point Tonight. By the grace of God, he got his mother's good looks. So congratulations to Joe Bob and his wife.
Just a point of reference. Yeah, it was his wife that had the baby.
Yeah, his wife had a baby.
Yeah.
He did the work, though.
Yeah, what work did he do?
Little pump. That's the work.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Yeah,
all
good
right,
idea.
we're gonna talk about what happened at the ICE facility in Dallas yesterday. But before we get to that, I do have one more funny thing. JD Vance went scorched earth yesterday, but I love this clip so much. He was, where was he? He was, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't really care where he was because the comments are what matters. But JD Vance giving a speech. And during this speech where he goes scorched earth, he did take some questions from people. And at one point, a little kid got up to the podium and asked JD a question. And this may be one of my favorite JD Vance moments of all time.
Name? Henry. It's good to meet you, Henry. Ask your question, please. Come up here. Henry said, I skipped school. Can I have a picture with you? Well, I guess you got to have some excuse to skip school, so I might as well get a photo with Henry.
I don't know. That was like my favorite thing from yesterday. And you're not going to see that anywhere on mainstream media. Just JD Vance once again being human. This kid skips school. I skipped school to come see you today, sir. Can I have a picture? Yes. You're going to need a reason to skip school. I used to skip school a lot. One time I skipped school and I walked into a Dunkin' Donuts, as we do. And as I walk into Dunkin' Donuts, you know who walked in behind me?
The principal.
It was. It was the principal. So I turned back, and as smooth as I could be, I said, "You're skipping too?" and then I said, "How about this? I buy you a coffee, and we both forget this happened." And she laughed, and she said, "If you buy me a coffee, I'll look the other way." And
Nice.
it was that just it reminded me of that when I saw JD Vance. I love JD Vance. It's such a human, and he was human a lot yesterday, and you could see that human anger coming through as we see the rise of left-wing violence. He did confirm that the shooting was political. We had our suspicions. Jack Posobiec and Human Events Daily, they were one of the first ones to report that this was anti-ICE, this was left-wing radicalism. JD Vance confirming that as well yesterday.
I don't know if you all have followed the news, and we're still learning a little bit about it, but what we know is that in Dallas, Texas, an ICE facility, an Immigrations and Customs Enforcement facility, was opened fire upon by a violent left-wing extremist, a person who wrote anti-ICE messaging on their bullets, and there's some evidence that we have that's not yet public, but we know this person was politically motivated. They were politically motivated to go after law enforcement. They were politically motivated to go after people who are enforcing our border.
How do they get motivated to do this? Now, I understand what mainstream media is going to say. They're going to say Donald Trump needs to tone down his rhetoric, which is just bovine scatology, and everyone knows it. How did this shooter get radicalized? How did the Charlie Kirk shooter get radicalized? Well, it was things like this.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. This is not the 1930s.
Secret police who are masked, who are intimidating, who are scaring people. These Gestapo-like tactics.
This is Gestapo-like behavior.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. When you compare the old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland, it does look like a Gestapo operation.
You posted on social media that, quote, ICE is acting like a terrorist force.
ICE agents, they are coming and kidnapping and disappearing people on the streets of the United States.
But this terror campaign of having masked people rolling up in vans, but we also have to talk about the agents themselves that are carrying this out. If you have any decency, quit now. Because just doing what you were told has been the justification for some of the worst horrors and crimes against humanity.
Masked agents of the state in unmarked vehicles are terrorizing communities. They are disappearing people.
One has to assume they're hiding something or they're hiding misbehavior, because otherwise, why would they be wearing masks and denying their identities?
If everything is legitimate and proper, why are you wearing masks to hide your face?
Not look like America. We are going to require them to show their faces. If you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have anything to hide.
So what could have radicalized this guy? It could be anything. It's probably Donald Trump. It was probably Trump. 100%. This is the insanity of the left. We've seen the rhetoric just go flying off the handle. And then when something violent happens, they'll blame Charlie Kirk for being divisive. They'll blame ICE for disappearing people. They never can look in the mirror. They need to. We're watching this rise of left-wing violence, and it's scary. Let's be honest. I'd be lying to you if it isn't a little bit nerve-wracking. I'm on the radio every day. We say things that we understand people are going to take a certain way. And when you have Democrat leaders labeling us as Nazis and labeling ICE as the Gestapo, what's the next logical step? Well, the next logical step is what we saw yesterday. Another example of left-wing violence, where they open fire on an ICE vehicle. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to pray for those illegal aliens that were shot. We're going to pray for their families. You see, we don't demonize the illegal aliens. They shouldn't be here because you shouldn't be breaking into our country. But I'll pray for them as well. And it's heartbreaking. They didn't further their mission. They didn't further their cause. They hurt the people that they were trying to protect. But this is the left, completely unhinged and completely radicalized. We need to be careful, and we need to be serious about left-wing violence. We have to. I mean, we can go down the list of all the times that Democrats have incited left-wing violence. Gavin Newsom claimed ICE agents are going to suppress voter turnout. This was on a podcast just a couple months ago. And I mean, we could do this. We could do this all day. This is Gavin Newsom.
In L.A., do you think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody knows what's at stake, so we have to put a stake in the ground and do things differently.
Oh, do things differently? Like open fire on these ICE agents? Maybe. I mean, is an unhinged leftist going to take it that way? Possibly. Also, why is ICE going to suppress voter turnout? Are you telling us that illegal aliens are voting? I thought that was a right-wing conspiracy theory. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I got another example. Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the wife of Gavin Newsom, suggested that ICE was hunting illegal aliens. Do you remember this in the aftermath of that farm raid, the marijuana grow facility where there was child labor happening? She was crying on Instagram saying that they're disappearing people. We have Jasmine Crockett saying that ICE agents are acting like slave patrols. We have Boston's Mayor Michelle Wu comparing ICE agents to Nazis. I mean, we can go on and on and on.
I don't know of any police department that routinely wears masks. We know that there are other groups that routinely wear masks. NSC 131 routinely wears masks.
Mayor, just to clarify, are you comparing ICE, you said, to NSC 131, the neo-Nazi group? Are you comparing them to a neo-Nazi group?
What I said is that Boston Police and no police department that I know of at the local level routinely wears masks.
Yeah, she's saying exactly what you thought she said. All of these Democrats are saying exactly what we thought they said. So what happens when this rhetoric continues? We see the violence that we saw yesterday. We see the violence that we saw 2 weeks ago. We see unhinged leftists thinking that they're going to be heroes for the cause. And we see them taking matters into their own hands. And then we see Democrats telling us to turn down the rhetoric. Tone it down, guys. Tone it down. Says the people who were back at calling Donald Trump a Nazi less than a week after he almost had the back of his head blown off. Said the people who called Charlie Kirk divisive in the mere hours after he was murdered by a left-wing lunatic. It's crazy. It's crazy, but they'll tell us to tone down the rhetoric. J.D. Vance isn't exactly taking this sitting down, and yesterday he wasn't exactly happy about it. And you can understand why. He said if you want to tone it down, you really need to look in the mirror. This is J.D. Vance yesterday.
And they said that immigration enforcement, you know what they said? That immigration enforcement had detained a 5-year-old autistic girl in order to get to that girl's father. Turned out that story was a complete fabrication. It was a complete dishonest lie. But when you go around and lie about our law enforcement and you tell them that they're mistreating 5-year-old girls, what do you think is going to happen? When Democratic politicians incur doxing, when they encourage us to unmask ICE enforcement officers, what do you think is going to happen? When the mayor of Los Angeles encourages violent protesters to get in the face of our law enforcement, what do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen is political violence, and political violence has gotten out of control in this country. We got to stop it. We got to condemn it. And that starts, unfortunately, at the very top of the Democratic Party.
He's absolutely right. Gavin Newsom, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer. Do I need to go on? Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris. Should I continue? I'll let JD continue.
If you want to stop political violence, stop attacking our law enforcement as the Gestapo. If you want to stop political violence, stop telling your supporters that everybody who disagrees with you is a Nazi. If you want to stop political violence, look in the mirror. That's the way that we stop political violence in this country, and we've got to do it.
Amen. Amen. He's not done, though. He's not done.
And while we're all mourning and rooting for and praying for everybody who was injured at that ICE facility, and as far as we know, it looks like some of the detainees, in other words, some of the potential illegal aliens, were some of those who were affected. Look, just because we don't support illegal aliens, we don't want them to be executed by violent assassins engaged in political violence either. So
Amen.
We're praying both for our ICE agents, but also for everybody who's affected by this terrible attack. But that was an ICE facility. And as these guys behind me know, and a few of our police officers know, police officers writ large face too many threats.
He's right. He's right. And they face these threats because the Democrats, the left, the mainstream media continuously demonize them. And they've been doing it now for what? Over a decade? Even longer? I feel like I'm being generous when I just say over a decade. We know what time it is. We know who's causing the rhetoric. We know who's causing the violence. It's time to get tough. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Brink Fiddler over at Defense Systems. And I got to tell you guys, I've taken the training from Defense Systems. It's not check-the-box training. It's real-life skills that could actually save someone's life. I know how to apply a tourniquet now. I know how to stop bleeding from a bullet wound. Do you know how to do these things? I mean, I hope I never have to use these skills in real life, but I'm grateful that I have them. Defense Systems is a life safety and security consulting firm, and they specialize in physical security and active violence mitigation training. And they've trained everybody, schools, corporations, healthcare facilities, law firms, country music tours. They've trained the whole staff here at Cumulus in Nashville, and we're grateful for that training. It's eye-opening. You need to do this training. They've done it for over 30 Middle Tennessee schools. Has your child's school gotten this training? If the answer is no, you really need to rethink this. I mean, unfortunately, active violence events are on the rise. Statistically, it's not going to affect you, but if it does, are you going to want to be wishing that you have the training, or are you going to be grateful that you have it? Don't wait until it's too late. Visit defensesystems.com or call 615-236-6484. That's 615-236-6484, defensesystems.com.
Coming up, President Trump warning if Democrats shut the government down, he'll use it as an opportunity to cut the federal workforce. And a local school answers the call for more American truck drivers. All that and more at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
More American everything, please. 9:27 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joan Jones in the newsroom. Headlines on the way. Mason Fleming's producing. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can find me on all the social media platforms that matter. Basically everything but Facebook. Sorry. At Chris Hand on air. I don't do the Facebook.
Don't do the Book of Faces?
I don't. I'm not booking it.
Not booking it.
Well, so my mother-in-law, she was, we used to say that she was hooked on the book. Because we'd back when we were on Facebook, we'd randomly, it'd be like 3 a.m. and there'd be a like spree.
Did you have to do an intervention?
We'd be like, are you okay? My father-in-law used to have to be like, I'm taking her phone away at night because she wakes up.
She has a
She wakes up and then she's hooked on the book. And yeah, we love her. And she admitted she has a problem. She's working through it.
Yeah, she's got to send all the Despicable Me memes every morning.
Yeah, she's working through it.
Got to see those minions.
You got to see the minions. All right, so we got a lot to get to. I do have more J.D. Vance audio. If you thought that he was going hard earlier, wait until you hear this.
And I think that is the most disgusting thing. The very people who keep us safe ought to be honored and protected and praised by Democrats and Republicans alike. It is time to stop the rhetorical assault on law enforcement.
Amen.
Because here's what happens. Because here's what happens when Democrats like Gavin Newsom did say that these people are part of an authoritarian government. When the left-wing media lies about what they're doing, when they lie about who they're arresting, when they lie about the actual job of law enforcement, what they're doing is encouraging crazy people to go and commit violence. You don't have to agree with my immigration policies. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump's immigration policies. But if your political rhetoric encourages violence against our law enforcement, you can go straight to hell and you have no place in the political conversation of the United States of America.
Amen. That was J.D. Vance yesterday in Concord, North Carolina, Concord, North Carolina, speaking on the ICE facility shooting in Dallas. He's absolutely right. He actually, if you think he's going hard there, you got to follow him on X at JD Vance because he went even harder on social media. He had tweeted out, "The obsessive attack on law enforcement, particularly ICE, must stop. I'm praying for everyone hurt in this attack and for their families." John Favreau quoted the tweet and said, "The vice president is not a reliable source of information. This is now the 5th or 6th time he's posted a political take contradicted by facts from his own law enforcement agencies." To which J.D. Vance replies, "The gunman had anti-ICE messaging carved on the bullets he used. What precisely did I get wrong? Shh." I'm telling you, J.D. is a must follow. God bless 48. It's 9:30. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. With Congress facing a Tuesday deadline to get a budget deal done to keep the government up and running, the White House is warning now of federal agencies about a potential furlough and maybe the possibility of mass firings if there's no agreement.
Republicans control the House and Senate, but funding bills require 60 Senate votes to pass, meaning at least some Democrats will have to get on board. Democrats say they won't back a funding deal without health care concessions. They're pushing to reverse Medicaid cuts from July's One Big Beautiful Bill, and they want to extend expiring Obamacare tax credits.
That's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. The mayor of Murfreesboro calling for new leadership at Middle Tennessee State University. Shane McFarland's comments came in his weekly Facebook chat.
I think that there are a lot of good things going on at the university, but I say this, you can have the best and the nicest of new buildings, but you have to also invest in your people.
His comments come after a professor was fired for making incendiary comments after Charlie Kirk's death. A new program being added to Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology, Dixon, truck driving. It'll include behind-the-wheel training and CDL testing with hazmat endorsement. Enrollment starts October 6th. That course runs 7.5 weeks, but there are opportunities to finish it early. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Man, she's like kept going. I thought she ended the commercial like 3 times.
Yeah, you almost jumped in there.
I was like, lady, let me go. I got to talk about Busy Bee. The savings are buzzing. Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And it's the Busy Bee best prices of the event a year, and the savings are buzzing louder than ever. Right now, when you schedule any heating repair service, you get a free dryer vent cleaning. That's one more way Busy Bee keeps your hive safe and sound. Thinking about new HVAC unit? Well, don't get stung by high prices elsewhere. Check out these deals. A Goodman 14.3 SEER 2-ton split heat pump with just $79.95 with a 10-year parts warranty and a 2-year labor warranty. A Rude 14.3 SEER 2-ton 10-kilowatt heat kit, only $89.95. Or upgrade to the Rude 16 SEER 2-ton for $99.95. And here's something as sweet as honey. September is National Grandparent Day month, and Beehive Club is going to give Beehive Club members a free Beehive Club membership to give to the grandparents. It's one way of honoring the family values that hold this country together. The buzz doesn't stop there. Plumbing specials include $500 off water and drain repipes, plus $300 off tank to tankless water heaters. So don't swarm around waiting. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. Give them a buzz or find them online, busybeehvac.com.
President Trump is not proposing an increase in student visas for Chinese students. The $600K references 2 years' worth of visas, which is simply a continuation of existing policy.
I don't want 300,000 people a year from China in our country.
No.
I just don't.
No.
Because I think they spy.
Yeah.
And I think that they're stealing
I don't even
our
think
intellectual
it's not even that
property.
we think they do.
They do.
They do it. Well, they got busted operating secret police stations in our country.
Yeah.
They got busted operating a secret biolab in California.
And why are they? That's right. I remember that.
They rode a spy balloon over our entire country. There should be...
And Joe Biden let it happen.
There should be no reason why we're doing this.
I'm Pastor Alan Jackson. I'm excited to invite you to join me for my brand new show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8, I'll be talking about the week's news and headlines, but through a biblical lens. Together, we'll look at what's happening in our world and how God's Word can guide us through it. Join me, Pastor Alan Jackson, Sunday evenings at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And you can listen on iHeartRadio and tune in.
It's 9:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Love those guys. Get yourself a water filter, betterwater.com. Watch the show on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. Helps me feed the kids, and I appreciate you doing so. And give me a follow while you're at it. I'm on all the social media platforms that matter, at Chris Hand on Air, at Chris Hand on Air, across every platform. Hit follow. I'll follow back. So Matt Walsh, love Matt Walsh. Probably one of my favorite commentators out there. He's just a beast, and I love his delivery. But he's been calling on President Trump to declare a national emergency due to out of control, rampant left-wing violence following yesterday morning's Dallas ICE facility shooting. I think that would work. I think we need to do that. I mean, the left and the mainstream media will scream and yell that he's a tyrant and he's a Nazi and he's a dictator and he's an emperor. But they're already yelling that. So what would change? Nothing, actually. Nothing, except maybe we'd get some of this violence under control. Yesterday in Concord, North Carolina, J.D. Vance promised the American people that the Trump administration is going to do everything they can to get this violence under control.
So here's my sacred obligation to you, to all the law enforcement, but every person, whether they wear a uniform or not. Over the next couple of years, the Trump administration is going to do everything that we can to dismantle the networks, to destroy the funding, and to make it harder for people to kill one another just because they disagree with what somebody says. That is what we're going to do. We're going to fight for it.
Amen. I believe him when he says it. And I'm looking forward to a crackdown on leftist violence. I wish we could have a crackdown on mainstream media and the lies that they tell. I mean, constantly. MSNBC was just a bastion of truth yesterday. Unbelievable what they get away with saying on the air. MSNBC, they said we don't know we don't know the ideology of the shooter, and that maybe he put anti-ICE messaging on the bullets as a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a joke, actually. He's not actually anti-ICE. He was just telling a funny as he opens fire on an ICE vehicle. I mean, like, listen, let's play the clip and then you tell me what you think. 615-737-9986.
You can't just assume by that what was written on that shell casing that's necessarily his motivation. He could have been doing that to thinking it was funny, trying to put law enforcement on the wrong track.
Is that so? I mean, maybe you're right, except for the fact that he opened fire on the ICE facility vehicle and had the messaging on the bullets. He's just trying to throw him off the trail. That's what he's doing. He actually loves ICE, and this whole thing was just a big ruse. I think he might actually be a right-winger trying to set up the left. Is that where we're going next? I think that might be where we're going next. It's unbelievable. Then this wasn't even the worst one. Actually, later in the day on MSNBC, they had a little guest on, and she seems like a real sweet lady. Somebody that you'd want to invite over for dinner. Somebody that you'd want around your kids, obviously. But they blame the right for what happened yesterday in Dallas. These people are sick. I think that we're watching mental illness when we watch clips like this.
Very difficult, not just in ICE, but of all immigrants, and immigrant lawyers, anyone who's in the immigration field, because this isn't an isolated incident. We have seen death among non-citizens being increased, and the victims here, that the two killed were non-citizens being detained at that time. And so it is very difficult. It has been a very decisive environment, and the rhetoric does have to stop. Just yesterday, Homeland Security released a propaganda video on their social website stating or using Nintendo's Pokemon to catch them all and continuing to dehumanize non-citizens.
Oh, actually, all right. That makes total sense. It's actually the memes that DHS is sharing actually led to a right winger shooting illegal aliens. Is that what we're going to go with? Are these people serious? Is she serious? What does Tucker always say? Do you remember what he always says?
Oh, my favorite.
I was like, maybe you're just pretending to be dumb. Now I don't think it's an act.
Thank you. This is also tiresome. You know, they shot illegal aliens because this administration is really demonizing illegal aliens. And so, yeah. They were trying to shoot ICE agents. The kid was an idiot. And he shot illegal aliens. We're going to pray for them too. And we're going to pray for their families. You see, it just underlines the point that we wouldn't have to grab these guys off the streets if we could go into the jails. But we wouldn't have to be called the Gestapo or Nazis if you allowed us to go after the worst first, the gang members, the rapists, the pedophiles, the child rapists in the jails when you arrest them. But they don't. They don't, because the Democrats want to use this as political leverage. They want to be able to call ICE Nazis and the Gestapo, because you know what motivates the base of the left more than anything else? Well, it's fear. And they've been using that fear to motivate their base for years, going back to COVID. Secretary Kristi Noem ordered an immediate surge of security to ICE facilities, and this is one of the only appropriate responses that we can have. We're not going to slow down. We're not going to recoil. We're not going to back up in light of this left-wing violence. What we're going to do is we're going to ramp up operations, and that starts with fortification.
Their language and their inflammatory jack-jawing is not going to stop. So what can you do from a law enforcement perspective to protect everyone, the agents and the people who were brought into custody for deportation proceedings?
Diggin, absolutely. Secretary Noem has ordered that we have enhanced security around our detention facilities and around our field offices across the country. You're right, we're not seeing, despite President Trump, despite Secretary Noem, at DHS for months and months calling for the rhetoric to be turned down. And in light of the political violence we've seen so recently, we have to make sure our officers are extra vigilant. And that's a big part also of our workforce recruitment efforts. There's safety in numbers, and we need our law enforcement to be safe. So we've been recruiting more than 10,000 ICE enforcement officers, and we've gotten more than 151,000 applications. Despite the danger, despite this dehumanizing rhetoric, this dehumanizing rhetoric, Americans are still answering the call to come and join ICE. They know what this mission is about. It's about making our homeland and our communities safer.
That's the mission. Make the country safer. I hope when they surge security to these ICE facilities that one of the things that they're going to do is incorporate drones, for crying out loud. Check the rooftops. How many times are we going to have to do this? Put drones in the air. Make sure that you got somebody back there watching what's happening above them, because this can't continue. Give that drone a weapon. Golly. Leftists will still say this is both sides. Violence is on both sides. Did you know? Yeah. Did you know that? Oh, this right-wing violence is just as bad. It's like, are we doing this? Are we doing this? Jessica Tarlov got into it with Gutfeld yesterday, as they tend to do. And as they've been doing it at a more frequent pace. I don't know if you've noticed this. Joan, you watch the Five. They've gotten increasingly more heated.
I think it's Greg. Like, he's fired up and he's tired of it.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who watches the Five is really tired of it too.
Who can blame them? This is Gutfeld versus Tarlov. And normally we wouldn't celebrate a woman being mercilessly beaten on this radio show, but that's what we saw yesterday.
I think that I said anything worthy of level of explosion.
Your rationalization of both sides, you have to understand, since Kirk's death, there is no both sides anymore, Jessica.
Why did the DOJ take down the study that showed how much right-wing extremism?
What study was that? Which one? The one in The Economist that was sponsored by a group run by a guy in Antifa? That study that has been discredited by the Federalist? You're walking down a really bad alley right now.
Federalist?
Yes. I actually did see, Jessica, I did the deep dive on that study. That study was authored by a project that was run by a guy who says he was an Antifa. That is why that whole thing has been scrubbed, okay? It's real simple. You label someone a fascist or a racist or a Nazi, it makes you free to attack them, and that has been the ideology from the start. It's weird.
So why?
No. Let me talk.
Trump does it.
What?
Just tell me why it's okay.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Great. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. You won't be for long.
Get ready. Get ready. He's going to nuke her from orbit.
The left calls Trump a hate monger. They have called me a hate monger because I ridicule the left. I ridicule protesters. I ridicule academia, Hollywood, the news media. I make fun of The View every day. I make fun of the UN. Guess what? No one acts on the things that I say because my side doesn't do that.
Amen.
We say people are stupid. We say people are wrong, but we don't say they're evil. That is your game, okay? And then you come and you say, okay, man, this is a mentally ill loner. Well, who do you think does this stuff? It's not Ben Affleck. It's not Tom Brady. It's not even Carrot Top. People who do this stuff are always that way. The question is, who points them in that direction? Why pick ICE? Why pick Kirk? Why target TV stations and put bombs under Fox trucks? Why vandalize memorials? Why kill kids in Catholic schools? Two things can be true. A person can be mentally ill, and you can be guiding him to that place in his life. That is how brainwashing works.
Amen, Greg. Amen. I mean, and who's pointing in that direction? It's the radical left. It's Hakeem Jeffries. It's Kamala Harris. It's Gavin Newsom. It's Chuck Schumer. It's all the thought leaders of the Democrat Party. It's Jasmine Crockett. It's AOC. It's Ilhan Omar. I mean, we can go on and on and on. I have clips on all of these individuals. The receipts are out there online. You know it as well as I do. Yes, these people are insane. If you're willing to pick up a gun and fire on anybody, you're probably insane, especially when you're motivated by politics. Understood. But where are you getting the rhetoric from? You're getting it from the thought leaders. Nobody is doing that on the right. I mean, as evident by the lack of rioting and businesses burned and looting that we saw in the aftermath of Charlie's assassination. There was none. We gathered together and we peacefully prayed. And we're still praying. We're praying for the peace of this nation. We're praying that this calms down. We're praying that we get back on the right track. We're praying for a heart change. But the left doesn't want to do that. The left wants to blame us for not toning down the rhetoric. And then they want to call us Nazis at the exact same time in the exact same sentence. This battle between Gutfeld and Tarlov kept going, and I think we have time for this one too. I think it's just worth playing. Jessica's like, well, I have all these examples. I have so many examples of right wing violence.
A litany of examples. That
you will not have them. If I gave you 2 months to look for them, you couldn't find them because they've been debunked.
Really?
You have one thing.
The
If you want to talk about, if you want to talk a minute,
Alice's son has been debunked. Dylan Roof has been debunked. Vance Bolter and his list of dozens.
We can talk about that, but
go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, you want to talk about it?
I do.
Okay, there was not a relentless drumbeat for 10 years about his victim like there was here. There was an intent and a motive for her killing by her killer alone. It wasn't 5. It wasn't National Review. It wasn't any show going like, you know what? We need to go after this fascist. Hopefully someone will take her out. That never happened.
Guys,
that is why your analogy is so pointless. And desperate.
Pipe bombs being sent to Democrats' houses. People saying in court, I was inspired by Donald Trump.
If you want to do this math, you're going to be embarrassed.
Brown people. According to you, I'm embarrassed every day. So frankly, I'm just feeling normal.
She was embarrassed. Completely embarrassed. Gutfeld just raking her over the coals. Yes, we understand what happened with Vance Bolter. But he's right. There was no drumbeat from Fox News talking about Melissa Hortman every day for a decade. Like we've seen with Charlie Kirk, like we've seen with Donald Trump, like we've seen with ICE recently, calling them the Gestapo and Nazis. No, you're seeing this. But you know what? I digress. This is just what I'm hearing. I'm hearing white supremacy is on the rise. Did you know that? We'll talk about it when we get back. It's 9:52 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand, and I got to ask you a few questions. So are your floors sagging? Cracks showing up in the drywall? Doors that just aren't shutting right? These aren't small problems, even though you might think they are. They're actually red flags. They're warning signs. And those small problems, well, they're going to get bigger if you ignore it. A solid foundation is going to be the backbone of a strong home. And when it weakens, the issue's only getting worse with time. That's why I stand behind the guys at United Structural Systems. They've been doing this since 1994, keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be. USS uses American-made adjustable steel supports built to last and backed with a transferable warranty. From I-beams to custom crawl space repairs, they fix it right the first time. So when it comes to your home, don't kick the can down the road. It's only going to make it worse. It's only going to make the fix more expensive. Call the people I trust today. United Structural Systems. 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems. Built on integrity, committing to protecting what matters. USSTN.com. All right, so anyway, Canada.
In the unlikely event that you find yourself the victim of a home invasion, we are urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands. But don't engage unless absolutely necessary.
Is that so? Don't take matters into your own hands? Bro, they're in my living room.
We urge you to call 911 and do everything you can to keep yourself and loved ones safe until police arrive, and be the best witness possible.
Oh, be the best witness possible. As your wife is being beaten by home invaders, you're being tied up. Just call Lee, chip in, and be a great witness. You know, Superman, and then, you got Bizarro. In Florida, they're like, we're going to shoot you stone cold dead. This is Bizarro, Florida. Is that what Ontario is?
It's close enough.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand. October 14th is coming up, and that's the day that means a lot to me, and I know it's going to mean a lot to you. It's not just Charlie Kirk's birthday, but it's also a national day of remembrance. And everybody in the country feels like we need to carry on that legacy. So we're gathering both of my extended families, the Super Talk 99.7 WTN family and the Turning Point USA family, for an evening of honoring Charlie's legacy at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro. We're going to talk about Charlie's life, his faith, his courage, and the movement that he built. It's a movement rooted in truth, in boldness, and in a belief that faith, family, and freedom are worth fighting for. You see, Charlie never wavered. Even when the world pushed back, he stood firm. And now it's on all of us to pick up that torch and carry it even further. This isn't just about remembering, this is about action. You see, Turning Point USA already has an impact here in Middle Tennessee, and we want to see that impact grow. And this is your opportunity. I've gotten so many messages, emails, texts. Chris, how can I get involved? Well, at Hop Springs on Tuesday, October 14th, we are going to have Turning Point USA chapters and representatives for you to connect with, to learn how to get off the bench and into the game, to meet fellow Americans and Tennesseans that care about what you care about, that value the truth, and to equip you with knowledge to take that next step into not just making an impact here in the Middle Tennessee community, but in the country at large. So on Tuesday, October 14th, join us at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro so we can remember Charlie together. So that way we can honor what he gave his life fighting for. And so that way we can figure out how we're going to fight even harder for the future he fought so hard to create. There's more details available at 997wtn.com, or you can scan the QR code on your screen right now. And we hope to see you Tuesday, October 14th from 3 to 8 p.m. at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro. God bless you, and God bless America.
President Trump and Elon Musk are teaming up again. And what firefighters found in the rubble of a burned-out local business. That and more coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Anybody hear that heated ad about Jody Barrett? Does it make you want to vote for Jody Barrett a little bit more? I can't vote for him. He's not in my district, but I would. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I will say this about Jody, who I know. He had a super PAC running an ad where they were using Charlie Kirk, and it felt icky. And I got texts from individuals on the text line, 615-737-9986, and everybody felt the same way. It's like, kind of using that to your advantage. So I texted Jody. And he was like, oh, dude, I didn't even know that was running. He's like, I don't like that. And he said it'll be off the air today. That was yesterday. I haven't heard it since. Have you heard it? I haven't heard it. That's me. That's my opinion on the situation. Jody saw something he didn't like, and he fixed it. He heard you guys, and he reacted immediately. That's kind of what you want in a congressional rep. Even if you get it wrong, the ability to say, whoops, and fix it. I like it. I like it. Statman on the text line said, 2 more weeks, only 2 more weeks of these annoying political ads. Just wait until we put that fight as a hotkey. That's going to happen.
It's a little slower than that.
It's so cheesy. So cheesy. All right, we got a lot to get to. Not a lot of time. 615-737-9986 is the number if you want to join the show. 615-737-9986. So white supremacy is on the rise. White supremacy. There's this shocking story the LA Times put out yesterday. There was this guy. He drew a swastika outside of Beverly Hills Elementary School. And, shocking. Like, we can't have that kind of stuff. Security footage caught him, though. Security footage. If you're watching on the stream, he appears to have a bit more melanin in his skin than your average white supremacist. Is that just me? I didn't know the white supremacists were black. I didn't know, but apparently this is. Beverly Hills Unified School District security video captured images of the individual believed to be responsible for drawing a swastika outside an elementary school. It was a black guy. White supremacy is on the rise, remember. Don't forget. I didn't know they were black. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. 6 days to go to avoid a government shutdown. And now the White House is warning it'll go beyond furloughs and use a, quote, Schumer shutdown to trim government workforce permanently.
Democrats, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, calling this an act of intimidation. But these two sides are at odds. Democrats have a series of health care demands. Republicans are not on board for that. The president was supposed to be meeting with congressional Democrats here at the White House. He called off that meeting. Congress is now out of session this week, but when they come back, they are just going to have days to try to avert this shutdown.
ABC's Rachel Scott. The government employees that do survive any furlough or firing will have the benefit of a new AI partnership. The General Services Administration announcing this morning that President Trump and Elon Musk have teamed up again, this time to provide federal agencies with Grok 4 and Grok 4 Fast. In a statement, Musk says using his AI will help the government to innovate faster and accomplish its mission more effectively than ever before. It wasn't a total loss. The fire last week that broke out at Laverne's Tobacco Brew and Chew, it revealed what appears to be a drug operation. Firefighters searching for hotspots stumbled on drugs and firearms in the rubble. In fact, they found 5 pounds of marijuana packaged for sale, 7 firearms, oxycodone and Adderall pills, and $7,600 in cash. The case has been turned over to the feds. Remember the 51 former intelligence chiefs that signed the letter saying Hunter Biden's laptop story was a Russian disinformation? Well, now every living former chair of the Federal Reserve, ex-Treasury secretaries, and former White House economic advisors have written a letter to the Supreme Court urging them to reject President Trump's power to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook. They say that would compromise independence of the Fed. It's been a quiet hurricane season, but ABC's meteorologist Ginger Z says that may be about to change.
We've got Umberto that formed yesterday as a tropical storm. It will become a hurricane pass between Bermuda and the United States. Rip currents, probably the biggest impact. But how much Umberto interacts with that next wave that will likely become Imelda and form by late week into the weekend, head over the Bahamas, and then all these other factors. There's this big upper level low, a stationary front. That is going to tell us how much South Carolina or North Carolina gets in the way of rain, wind, and potential even landfall.
Stocks are trading lower across the board. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You know, we love to highlight the resistance, viva la resistance, against Donald Trump, and especially RFK, who's just a madman, an absolute lunatic.
Oh, yeah.
He's unhinged. He needs to be stopped. Liberal women have figured out a way to do it. I don't know how this could be considered as anything other than prenatal neglect, but here we are. Pregnant women are now posting videos on social media downing Tylenol to own Trump. Oh, okay. You're putting your baby at risk to own Trump? Is that a good idea? I've seen the videos online. I'm sure you have as well. It's rather shocking. Breitbart has the write-up. Some pregnant women are posting videos of themselves downing acetaminophen, commonly known as Tylenol, following the Make America Healthy Again announcement on Monday, in which Trump recommended pregnant women limit the intake of the drug due to possible associations with increased risk of autism. Okay. This shouldn't shock you, right? These are the same people who said, I'm not taking that vaccine. It's Trump's vaccine. And then they said, oh, Biden said to take it? Oh, well, you better lose all of your rights, not be allowed in hospitals or restaurants if you don't take it, you fascist. Yep. So it's funny. I don't take my medical advice from politicians. I don't. I wouldn't have taken the vaccine if Trump had won in 2020. If Trump had mandated it, I would have fought back against it. And there's no way I was ever taking the jab. I didn't even take a what were they, PCR tests? Little nose swab. I wouldn't even do that. I thought that was stupid. Especially because when you got COVID, and I don't mean to get off on the COVID thing. I know we're all tired of COVID, but I remember like when you got COVID, they were like, okay, stay at home until it gets bad. Like, okay, so why am I taking a test? Why don't I just call you when it gets bad? Stupid. It's dumb. But these women online are equally as dumb. Trump made the recommendation on Monday alongside RFK Jr. We saw the press conference. We played it on the show on Tuesday. And a lot of people are mad. There's some people that are seeing clips out of context. Both sides are mad. There are people that are seeing clips out of context, thinking that Trump is only highlighting Tylenol as the reason for autism. And it's like, did you watch the press conference? Because he went harder on vaccines than any president in the history of the country ever. So did you watch it? It wasn't just Tylenol. He was talking about a combination of things. But Trump made that recommendation Monday. Stay away from Tylenol. And RFK's with him. We got Dr. Oz with him, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. And they said it's among the most alarming public health developments in history. They had data from CDC showing that 1 in 31 children have autism. And he said, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines, don't take any pills, have no autism, that have no autism. Does that tell you something? He was talking about the Amish, President Trump was. Trump then announced that the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of acetaminophen, which is commonly known as Tylenol during pregnancy, can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. People roasted Trump online because he couldn't pronounce acetaminophen. But, okay, he's not the one that did the study. It's not like Trump isn't in the back room with a lab coat on doing these studies, right? He's presenting the evidence that's presented to him by highly qualified individuals. Same can be said for RFK Jr. But everybody's upset. Everybody's upset. And liberal women have decided to take to social media and take Tylenol as a way of pushing back against Trump. It's not just liberal women. You also have liberal men in the medical industry taking to social media to tell you how safe it is. This is D.O. Jared Shuck. He's a resident at FSU College of Medicine. Let's listen to the medical experts on Tylenol.
Use Tylenol for pain and fevers. Please don't suffer and don't listen to people if you can't say the word acetaminophen telling you what you should do. At the end of the day, Tylenol is safe and effective, and there's no new data coming out suggestive of causing autism, and it's been studied extensively and not found to cause autism. So please utilize it. The same goes for vaccines. There's nothing suggestive of a link between those and autism. The fact that you're diagnosing something more frequently because of better diagnostic criteria and better awareness does not indicate that that is actually increasing due to something else that we've increased the utilization of. So please be careful with this line of thinking and look at the better, bigger studies that are being utilized by the actual experts and professionals to make these recommendations.
Trust the experts. Trust the scientists. Where have we heard that before? Have you ever heard that before? Trust the experts. Follow the science.
Sounds real familiar.
I can't put my finger on where I heard that before. The British government says don't pay any attention whatsoever to what Donald Trump says. Okay. Britons should only trust British doctors. The NHS and the UK's Labour government said on Tuesday morning, warning the nation to not pay any attention whatsoever to U.S. President Donald Trump over remarks on the potential link between autism and Tylenol, known by the generic name paracetamol in Britain. Paracetamol? Whatever. British Health Secretary Wes Streeting, who I did Google because I wanted to see if he was fat. Full disclosure. Have you ever seen that? Like the health experts in some of these European countries, they're like morbidly obese. It's like, why am I trusting you on health? He wasn't. He was skinny. Quite the letdown. But Wes Streeting expressed credulity over claims made in the press conference by Trump and RFK and Dr. Oz on Monday, where they warned of some studies that suggest there may be a link between autism and Tylenol taken by mothers in pregnancy. Speaking to national broadcasters at ITV's breakfast program on Tuesday, Streeting said, "I trust doctors over President Trump on this, quite frankly." That's good. That's good. We even had our esteemed Senate Majority Leader, Senator Thune. He commented on it.
I do want to ask about President Trump, along with HHS Secretary RFK Jr. saying this week that pregnant women should limit using Tylenol during pregnancy because of a, quote, very increased risk of autism. And that's a claim that is not grounded in science. How worried are you, sir, that RFK Jr. and the president will actually, with what they said, adversely impact the health of American women and their babies?
Well, I'm obviously very concerned about that. I am a father and a grandfather, and just have, as of about 7 months ago, a newborn grandson. So,
congratulations.
Obviously, thank you. Pregnant moms is something I have a very high level of interest in, and I agree. I think that science ought to guide these discussions, these conversations, and our decision making around our health. There are studies out there that they reference, but again, I think there are an awful lot of people in the medical community who come to a different conclusion about.
No, trust the science. Follow the science. Thanks, Senator Thune. This guy, he's such a slime ball. Like, you can't trust that guy as far as you can throw him. All right, trust the science. Don't listen to Donald Trump. Okay, got it. Well, let's go through it, shall we? Let's see what happened 4 years ago. This is on the CBC. Canadian broadcast company. This is Canadian-owned television, right? Like, it's promoted by the government.
Team of scientists.
This is what they were saying 4 years ago.
Team of scientists and medical health experts has released an important statement on pregnancy and pain medication. It's part of a study in the British scientific journal Nature. And here's what it does. It cautions pregnant women about using acetaminophen, and that is the active ingredient in Tylenol and many other medications that so many of us use to relieve pain or fever. CBC Health and Science reporter Christine Birak has the details.
Wait. So a Canadian-owned broadcasting company, the CBC, owned by the government, just 4 years ago, so we have this study warning against pregnant women using acetaminophen. So what's changed? Well, the only thing that I can see is that Donald Trump took to a podium on Monday to highlight this. You have to ask yourself the question, if liberals were told that Donald Trump recommends breathing oxygen, are they going to put bags over their heads? If Donald Trump warned against eating poop, would we see a lot of chocolatey smiles on liberal women? Probably. Again, this is 4 years ago. This isn't ancient history.
The statement is backed by nearly 100 scientists and doctors from around the world. They insist a higher level of caution is needed when pregnant people use fever and pain meds that contain acetaminophen.
Pregnant people. Okay, I'm just highlighting that so you know this is as leftist as it can get. Not pregnant women. Not expecting mothers. Pregnant people. Men can get pregnant, you bigot. Sorry.
Including Tylenol. The authors don't have any new evidence showing the drug harms a developing fetus, but their statement does say a growing body of experimental and epidemiological research suggests that prenatal exposure to acetaminophen might alter fetal development, which could in turn increase the risks of certain neurodevelopmental, reproductive, and urogenital disorders. And they mention ADHD and autism spectrum disorder, which has been seen in animal models at high dosages.
Weird, but now Trump is anti-science. The CBC can report this 4 years ago and be like, oh, dude, listen, we got like all these doctors and all these scientists. And they're saying, I'd caution against it because of ADHD and autism. But as soon as the orange man gets to a podium, all things change. And now the CBC is reporting just on the 22nd, 3 days ago, 4 years later, Trump makes unproven link between autism and acetaminophen. Follow the science, they tell you. Follow the science. How about CNN? If you're watching on the YouTube stream or on Rumble, you'll see the headlines, but I'll read them for you. This is let's start with the latest. Okay, 2016. Acetaminophen during pregnancy may increase risk of hyperactivity in kids. That was CNN. Susan Scuddy. She wrote that on August 15th, 2016. Now let's go to October 30th, 2017. Study links acetaminophen in pregnancy to ADHD. Experts question results. Okay. Fast forward. Sandy Lamotte, CNN. September 23rd, 2021. Common painkillers should be investigated for possible risks to developing fetuses, experts say. Okay. Let's fast forward one more time. September 23rd, 2025. Trump links autism to acetaminophen during pregnancy despite decades of evidence it's safe. Do these people not understand that the internet exists? I don't think that they understand. So no, okay. So screw those doctors. Screw those scientists. How dare you? Greta Thunberg. How dare you? Can't trust any of them. We just can't. How about Tylenol? Can we trust Tylenol in all of this? You see, back in 2017, Tylenol tweeted on their own account, "We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today." Screw Tylenol. Follow the science. Oh. And they're not going to pay attention to any of this. They're not. They're in the sheep herd mentality. So instead, they're going to go the exact opposite way, even harder. And we're already getting horror stories that are percolating online. And women are now overdosing on Tylenol to stick it to Trump. And this story's been going viral, and it is as heartbreaking as it can get.
So it's about, it's going to be 6 a.m. finally. And for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend that you do. I got a call, a very frantic call at 4 o'clock in the morning from a husband whose wife is now dying of liver failure on a ventilator in an ICU because she was trying to prove that Tylenol doesn't cause autism because of what Trump said on the news. Mind you, that's a Harvard study. Now, whether or not you believe the Harvard study or not is not the issue here. The issue is that she's somewhere between 23 to 25 weeks and she overdosed on Tylenol.
Are we serious here? How much do you hate Trump that you're willing to put your baby and your life at risk? Honestly. I'm stunned by this. I'm stunned. If there's the slightest chance, if there's a 2% chance that Trump could be right, why would you continue down that road? Why would you risk your baby's life? This poor woman didn't just risk her baby's life. She essentially ended her own.
And she's going to die. She's not going to come off that ventilator. And the guy got my phone number from somebody. Somebody gave it to him. I mean, guys, it's early in the morning. I'm still in Hello Kitty sweatpants in my gym trying to work out. And she's going to die. It's going to be, let me tell you something about Tylenol overdosing and death, is that if you aren't administered the antidote, it is a very slow and painful death, okay? Because Tylenol, as well as Benadryl and aspirin, are the three most common OTCs that people will typically try to unalive themselves with, so they don't get censored. But now people are just taking massive amounts of Tylenol to prove Trump wrong. I mean, weren't these the same people who put Harvard and Fauci and the pillars of science on a pedestal?
Yep.
And now they refuse to believe it. Like, I don't believe it either. But I'm also not going to go overdose on Tylenol either.
Honestly. These people are insane. What do you think? 615-737-9986. I see Bonnie holding. I'll take your call when we get back. It's 1022. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Cabinet Makeovers. I love Dan. I love the whole team over at Cabinet Makeovers. They just installed some amazing pull-out cabinets in my house, and I got to tell you, they're amazing. They're awesome. And even better than me liking them, the wife is in love with them. This is a family-owned company serving Middle Tennessee for over 45 years. Everything they do is Tennessee-made. Every cabinet, pull-out drawer, all wood construction, full extension, soft close glides. Craftsmanship is top-notch, and their team has decades of experience. You can feel it in their work, but the team is so cool. When they come to my house and they were installing everything, it was essentially like a homeschool lesson. I mean, my kids were, Mr. Dan, what are you doing here? Mr. Dan, what's this tool called? Mr. Dan, can I turn the screwdriver? Yes. He's awesome. Unbelievable. And he even took some time to talk to the kids about Jesus. You see, biblical values guide this business, but everything they do is guided by not just Jesus, but Tennessee pride. All wood construction, everything is Tennessee made. They don't just stop at kitchens. They do custom closets, pantries, cabinetry for every room in your house, all built with that same Tennessee pride and biblical values that guide their business. If you need new cabinets, if you want to make your wife super happy, call Cabinet Makeovers, 615-331-7010, 615-331-7010, or find them online, cabinetmakeoverstn.com.
He teaches middle school, but police say this teacher was downloading child porn at home. And TikTokers can breathe a sigh of relief. That and more coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. It's 1026 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hent. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We're talking about Tylenol. We really got to prove Trump wrong. Why would anybody do this? Bonnie, on the road, what do you think about these women taking Tylenol despite Trump?
Well, I think they're doing it for attention, and I think a lot of this media stuff should not put them on the air, not talk about them, because that's what they want. They want attention, and I do believe that it's probably true about the Tylenol. Because I've heard it in the past years ago that it could be that.
Yep.
I just think it's an attention getter, and I think it's so childish and so immature and just ignorant.
I'm totally with you, Bonnie.
And I don't even know if it's true. I mean, how do you know it's true that these people are taking these things and overdosing. I mean, you know, people could just be putting that on there.
Well, I happen to know that this Nicole Suratek who posted that video is a good source. So there's that. But are you a mother, Bonnie?
Well, yes, I am a mother. I got pregnant when I was 16 years old and had her when I was 17.
Well, let me ask you this, though. If you knew that there was a 1% chance that taking a certain medication could harm your baby, would you have taken the risk?
I would never take anything to hurt if I knew it.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. And I appreciate the call, Bonnie. Thank you so much. Let's go to Frank in Nashville. What's up, Frank?
Hey, Chris. Thanks for taking my call, man. Real quick, I wanted to let you know this Trump derangement syndrome that's going on. I'll tell you how bad it's got. There's people on the web right now, I can text you the video, of people saying they would eat poop or human feces if Trump would leave office. This is how crazy this has gotten. They would eat a lot of it. That's insane. That's insanity. The last caller said it may be ignorance. I think it's pure stupidity or evil. Ignorance means, you know, that you can learn. I don't think these people can learn. The second thing I wanted to bring up was that these shootings. Think about the bullets. I've been native Nashvilleian, been here a long time, shot a lot of weapons. Engraving on a bullet casing is not easy. And nobody I know that loads bullets has an engraving machine to print anything on a bullet casing. They're not scratching it in there with their fingernails or with a nail. So somebody somewhere with an engraving machine, usually it's a jeweler, is helping these people if things are really being written on those shells.
Yeah, I mean, they do keep saying engraving, but like at the Dallas facility yesterday, it looked like it was written on the bullets with a Sharpie. So I mean, like take that with a grain of salt. I thought the same thing. But when you look at the pictures, it looks like it was written on the casing with a blue Sharpie. So I mean, they say engraving, but yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, man.
Hey, appreciate the call. Zane on the road wants to talk about Tylenol. Zane, it's a dangerous medication, I'm hearing, or it's the safest medication in the world. What do you think?
Oh, I 100% agree with the study that's coming out. I think it's comical that these are the same people that were saying, oh, Trump said to drink bleach, so they're all drinking bleach now, and all this garbage going on. I've been getting in arguments with friends online about this because they're saying, oh, it's not because it's not because of Tylenol. It's actually because there's more awareness now and we have more diagnostic programs. Like, oh, so that's why we have more fat people and ADD and ADHD and autism is because we're more aware of it. Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
It's comical to listen to this, man.
Yeah, it's insane. And I appreciate the call, Zane. I got time for one more. Let's go to Cran in Silver Point. What's up, Cran?
Hey, I had a lot of doctors tell me I normally take aspirin for pain
Okay.
and whatever because it doesn't cause liver damage if you drink. And y'all know from me calling in before that I drink. But when I was pregnant, I had to stop all of that. And the doctors told me if you take aspirin, it will cause brain bleeds in your baby. And you will have a severely handicapped child.
Really?
And they told me acetaminophen, Tylenol, whatever, it's totally safe for your baby. They told me that over and over again.
Insane. What year was that?
My firstborn was in 1999.
Okay, it seems like a lot of these newer studies were really starting to hit the net and hit the mainstream about 4 years ago. And it looks like they're looking back to a lot of these studies and they're highlighting them now. But people are very upset. People are very upset, and I appreciate the call, Cran. So liberal women are sticking to Trump, and they're swallowing Tylenol to the point of overdosing, at least in one case. Wild. 1031 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A middle school teacher busted for possessing child pornography. Channel 4's Amanda Harris says 28-year-old Alexander Donahoe is a teacher at Jerry Baxter Middle School.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children actually flagged an IP address searching for inappropriate pictures of minors. So investigators started looking into Donahoe's online activity in March. Donahoe admitted to having the material, and electronics were taken from his home.
And he's in jail on $100,000 bail this morning. The White House raising the stakes of a potential government shutdown, drafting a request for federal agencies to prepare to not just furlough, but to fire federal employees if Congress doesn't pass a spending bill before October 1st. The action would target employees in programs, projects, or activities whose discretionary funding would lapse on October 1st. It appears that TikTok has been rescued from the dustbin of history. President Trump is scheduled to sign a new deal that saves it from being banned in the U.S.
TikTok's U.S. operations will now be run by this new joint venture, with American users' data stored in the U.S. and overseen by the cloud computing firm Oracle. And perhaps most importantly, this new ownership group will get a copy of the algorithm, that secret sauce that makes TikTok so addictive. Trump says other American investors, including Michael Dell of Dell Technologies and the Murdoch family, will also play a role.
ABC's Mary Bruce. And more Americans say they'd rather watch a new movie release on their comfy sofa than at a movie theater. A new poll from the Associated Press saying about 3/4 of adults watched a new movie on streaming instead of in the theater at least once in the past year. It's a trend that began during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock Store. And if you believe in faith, freedom, and the Second Amendment like I do, you're going to love this. The Glock Store is hosting the brand new AccuShoot LFX live fire simulator, and it's going on right now through Saturday the 27th. And this isn't some video game. That's not what it is. It's shooting at real targets with live ammo, fully interactive experience, timed, instantly scored, and it's going to show you real skills that you can actually use. Here's the kicker. If you're one of the top shooters, you're going to win a daily prize. Prizes like Real Avid, gunsmithing tools, O-Sight Red Dot Optics. And when the week's done, the top shooter overall is going to take home the grand prize, which is a Daria DY9 pistol. Now, if you haven't heard of that yet, trust me, you will. The gun is beautiful. But here's how to get in. Set up your shooter profile at the Glock Store. Pay just $10 plus ammo if you need it. And then pick from 5 different drills. And they go all the way from mild to absolutely wild. And it's happening now through Saturday the 27th. Only at the Glock Store. Minutes from the airport. Worth the drive from anywhere. Because training matters. Freedom matters. And at the Glock Store, well, you can sharpen both. They're always open online. Glockstore.com.
President Trump making news again. The headlines, Chris. Donald Trump revokes the Secret Service from Kamala Harris. Ooh.
The unspoken part of this story is the hundreds of thousands of dollars we're going to save in therapists and PTSD counseling for the Secret Service agents that had to be on that detail with Kamala Harris. You know, we've heard the horror stories of Joe Biden swimming naked around his Secret Service agents, but I wonder how many times they've had to pick up a drunken Kamala Harris off the floor of a Wawa because she's on a Doritos run with Dougie. We don't need to pay for that, and she can afford her own security. I don't think this is much of a story. 1038, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Got a little bit of a headache. You got any Tylenol back there?
None back here.
No?
I don't use that stuff.
Ken, you got any Tylenol back there?
I got some ibuprofen.
All right. I'm really looking for the good stuff, guys.
Well, I got some of that too, but it's expired.
Oh, all right.
I mean, if you're offering,
I'm kidding.
I keep it just. I keep it just in case.
Ken just walked in, so he didn't hear the whole last segment. We were talking about liberal women downing Tylenol to stand up against the orange dictator. They're doing it while they're dancing.
I got Sharpies, but they're probably about as helpful as Tylenol.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Sorry,
I could sniff a Sharpie.
Yeah.
All right.
They've already lost enough brain cells.
Dude, I can't believe these ladies. I honestly feel bad.
Are they the ones the ones who they're pregnant, their belly's out, and they're dancing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
nailed it.
yeah, I saw that.
Like, what are you doing? The craziest thing is like these liberal women, if they give their kids autism, it's like what is it, like 3 to 6 times more likely if you're autistic to become transgender? It's really a win-win for the liberal women. They have the Victim Olympics, and they'll have a kid on the spectrum, which they'll be able to post about how hard everything is, and then they'll have a transgender kid, and they'll be able to post about how stunning and brave it is.
Obviously.
It's also tiresome. Hey, Hillary Clinton's back in the media.
Oh, unfortunate.
I'll be honest with you. I was surprised at how good she looks for a soulless demon.
Yeah, I was about to say. The horns and the hooves aren't hard to look past.
The hooves look good on her. Hillary Clinton is really upset that Donald Trump is attacking free speech. So she wanted to
she's
talk.
never done that.
No.
Never.
She wanted to talk about it on Morning Joe.
I view it as very dangerous. It is right out of the authoritarian playbook, Willie. I mean, this is, this is point 4 of the authoritarian playbook. Silence your opponents. Cripple the media that doesn't give you the slavish attention and agreement that you desire. Use the power of the government to go after corporations and individuals.
So, I mean, who would ever do anything like this, right? Who would advocate for things like that? Western Lensman put this together on Twitter. You know who would advocate for things like that? Hillary Clinton.
But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence. Because
Civilly or criminally charged for speech. For speech. Okay. We had a big story yesterday. YouTube is letting all the banned content creators back on the platform if they were banned for political speech or misinformation. Because, under the Biden administration, they silenced their political opponents because of free speech. And a lot of it had to do with COVID, and a lot of it had to do with the questionable results of the 2020 election. Do these people not understand that the internet exists? Anybody? It's crazy. On Wednesday's broadcast of CNN This Morning, Rep. Jonathan Jackson, who's a Democrat from Illinois, reacted to Alphabet, the parent company of Google, saying that the Biden administration pushed it to censor content by stating that something that we should all be very much concerned about is misinformation. He's more worried about misinformation than the censorship of Americans.
All right, we have somebody who was at those UN meetings yesterday, Congressman Jonathan Jackson. He joins the group chat. He's a Democrat on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us.
How are you?
Good. So thank you for being here.
And while he's there, he said there's freedom of speech, but also how do we stop misinformation? We're going into an era of disinformation. Political rhetoric is going to be weaponized. People are going to be misquoted, lied about. There are going to be all sorts of programs that can act like they're synthesizing and recreating our messages and words. This is something we should have a conversation about. Do these guys not understand what we lived through already? I mean, misquoting and mischaracterizing. Oh, you mean like Donald Trump back in 2016 saying there were good people on both sides? Do you mean like Donald Trump on the campaign trail when they said that he threatened a bloodbath if he didn't win, when he was talking about what would happen to the automotive industry? Is that what we're talking about? It's already happening. You see, it's only happening to our side. It's always just a happy little coincidence that it only happens to right-wingers. It's insane. Absolutely insane. We're seeing this over and over again. But YouTube is actually, and Alphabet, the parent company of Google, is actually taking steps to remedy what they saw. And we've seen other platforms do this as well. Facebook opened up about how they were censoring people and shutting individuals down. But Google admitting just a couple days ago to political censorship on YouTube, and they've now promised to embrace free speech. Jim Jordan broke the story on X, and Google promised to restore YouTube accounts that have been banned for political speech, admitting that the Biden administration pressured it to censor Americans that did not violate the company's terms of service, in a letter to House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, saying, reflecting the company's commitment to free expression, YouTube will provide an opportunity for all creators to rejoin the platform if the company terminated their channels for repeated violations of COVID-19 and election integrity policies. There are that are no longer in effect, a lawyer representing Google wrote to Jordan. Now we're going to see something very interesting. And this is something that I'm going to be paying attention to very closely. Now, by me saying this is interesting doesn't mean that I'm co-signing the views or values of either of these individuals. Although I do like Alex Jones. But Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes have now recreated their YouTube accounts. So what's the next play? It's going to be interesting to see. But this letter, they say, would likely affect pro-Trump political commentators such as Sebastian Gorka, who's now the White House counterterrorism chief, Steve Bannon, Dan Bongino. All those guys were banned over speech relating to COVID or election-related content. YouTube had banned Bongino, who moved to Rumble over alleged spreading of misinformation about masks during the coronavirus pandemic. Do you remember the masks when Fauci was spreading misinformation saying we didn't need them? Remember that? Remember when they banned him off social media for that? No, it was fine. It was fine when he said it. I don't believe in masks at all, just for the record. I think they're stupid. I remember during the wildfires in California during the COVID pandemic, where we had the big news where it said, "Hey, just so you know, your masks won't stop you won't block your smoke." And then people online were like, "Hey, smoke particles are actually bigger than COVID particles," and then they were banned. Do you remember that? I remember that. So Google's video platform said it values conservative voices on its platform and admitted that the creators have extensive reach and play an important role in civic discourse. Google then admitted that the Biden administration pressured the big tech company to remove alleged misinformation relating to the pandemic. Senior Biden administration officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet and pressured the company regarding certain user-generated content related to the COVID-19 pandemic that did not violate its policies, the lawyer wrote to Jordan. The lawyer said that President Joe Biden and his officials created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of platforms based on their concerns regarding misinformation. I do feel like it's a bit of a stretch to say it was President Joe Biden and his officials when we know the state of Joe Biden's brain during his residency at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But Google said that Jordan and the Judiciary Committee have taken important steps to highlight the onerous obligations under laws such as the Digital Services Act and Digital Markets Act that may stifle innovation and restrict access to information. Jordan recently told Breitbart News that the European Union and the United Kingdom are acting exactly like the Biden administration in pushing big tech platforms to censor free speech. Jordan posted on X, "Due to our oversight efforts, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform, but that's not all." And he added a big thread with the letter. This is a stunning development, but we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing how far they're willing to go. Again, when you see content creators like Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes recreating their channels, first of all, even though I disagree with them, I think that they have every right to have a channel, right? And I don't necessarily disagree with Alex on everything. And I don't necessarily disagree with Nick on everything. I mean, there are things that we obviously disagree on, but not everybody's wrong about everything all the time. Like, just the facts. But those are some extreme voices in the movement, extreme to say the least. And I wonder how Alphabet is going to handle that, because you know that there's going to be a lot of backlash from the left. That's just coming, whether we like it or not. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, we need to get back to free speech. We need to get back to civil discourse. Silencing people isn't going to work. It's just going to make their voices louder. Nick Fuentes, in particular, who was kicked off just about every social media platform there was, now is one of the biggest voices among the youth. And if you know anything about Nick Fuentes, he has very extreme views, especially on Jews. And I don't agree with it, but they're only making him stronger by trying to silence him. The day after the Charlie Kirk assassination, his first stream back, there was like 100,000 live viewers. Silencing people in this day and age doesn't work. It just creates the Barbra Streisand effect, where now I want to go watch it even more. And I would say the same thing for liberal content creators like our friend Destiny or Hassan Piker. Let them expose themselves for how crazy they are, but don't silence them. Not in America. That's not what we're about. Even here on Super Talk, we'll get crazies in the chat. We'll get people that say just outlandish things. And what do I tell you every time, Mason? Don't feed the trolls, but don't ban the trolls. Let them expose themselves. I've said it a couple times. My uncle Bob, great guy. He's like, why would we want to outlaw Nazi armbands? We should let the Nazis wear the armbands. By outlawing something like that, you're not removing Nazis. You're just removing the identifiers. Let them expose themselves. This is America. The speech that we have to defend is hate speech, not free speech. We don't have to defend people saying nice things. We have to defend people saying evil things. That's the whole point. Let's go to Mike in Madison. What's up, Mike?
Hey, yeah, just to touch on free speech, man. I love your show and everything, but there's a big, I would say, a lot of momentum picking up on the internet and social media is about Israel in general, and a lot of people, especially Christians, not knowing how Israel feels about Jesus Christ. And a lot of search bars, you can't even type Israel in the search bar or Jews in the search bar, even for a normal conversation. But you're allowed to type everything else. But
Really?
they've got such a lot. Absolutely.
I've never.
Especially on TikTok. TikTok and on YouTube, I don't know, unless they're changing in the last 24 hours.
Really?
Any speech about Israel, Netanyahu, or Jewish people in at all is extremely censored.
Interesting.
And,
I've never seen it, but I'll look into it, man, and I appreciate the call. Let's go to Matt on the road, who wants to talk about Nick Fuentes. What's up, Matt?
Hey, so I never knew who Nick Fuentes was until he was brung up about going to Mar-a-Lago. And then I kind of heard he was a horrible human being, so I watched 100 hours of his videos. And I'm going to be honest, I've never seen him say anything that, I could not factually, find to be true. And he's almost on the exact same page as the Hodge twins. So why is he so hated?
I don't know. People have emotional reactions to things that they don't like. Where I can watch something and then go, I don't like this, and then move on with my day. But there are a lot of people that just can't do that, and they just rage about it. Nick says some extreme things, but I'm kind of with you. I don't see how he's any really different than the Hodge twins, and he does get platformed by individuals. He was just on the Patrick Bet David podcast the other day.
Yeah, again, the Hodge twins, they're hated by the Democrats for having their views. But again, Nick Fuentes was on their show, and everything they talked about was seemingly valid, made sense, was logical. And I don't know, I haven't figured out, but the right and the left both hate Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I think you did prove my point. It's like when you ban these guys, and I appreciate the call, when you ban these guys, you create a level of interest. So then I'm like, well, why did they ban them? I've said it before, the Biden administration during COVID put out the disinformation dozen. And my first thought was, oh, I'm going to follow all these guys. I don't even know what they were saying. But I was like, you're being banned by the current administration? Well, now I'm interested. You have my attention. And I feel like you can do the same thing with all of these guys that have been banned off the internet. You're not striking them down and silencing them. You're making them stronger. Just let them expose themselves and debate their ideas. That's really what it comes down to. but people don't want to debate. And it always goes back to the left. It was the left pressuring to silence and censor. It was the left that couldn't win the debate against Charlie Kirk, so they took him out. This is what we see over and over and over again. But just like we saw with Charlie, man, you lose the debate, you strike him down, you just created a martyr, and his message only grows stronger. It's 10:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and $12 is going to change your life. I mean, you could probably scrape that up in the couch cushions. If you're tired of back pain, neck pain, knee pain ruining your life, that $12 is going to change everything. It's going to get you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. That's right, only $12. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, all they want to do is see you get back to a pain-free life, and they've done it for so many people. Their patients come in all the time, and the first question that they go after they're feeling better is, why didn't I come here first? You're going to feel the exact same way. Well, no matter what it is, back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging discs, they'll treat it all with non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and even anti-gravity machines. What you won't find, surgery, injections, opioids. Grab your MRI and get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it. Call the Wellness Institute of Nashville today, 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or find them online, painisbad.com. Now, before you ask, I definitely voted for this.
Okay. They don't take Reese's or food stamps no more, no candy. So they went live when they said they're going to take out all the snacks. They're taking away all the snacks on EBT. What's the point of having it?
God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes all
go on, get your butt to work if you want to get some fudge rounds. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
The reset, they didn't take the reset off. Food stamps is boring right now.
Amazon has agreed to a $2.5 billion settlement, but says it didn't do anything wrong. Details at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Give me a follow on any social media platform that you're on, other than Facebook. At Chris Hand on air is the handle. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. We're getting new information from the FBI and the investigation into the Dallas ICE shooter Joshua Jan. We'll have new details on the way. Plus, I got more reaction coming up for you from the likes of MSNBC. They're finding new and creative ways to blame the right for what's clearly a rise in left-wing violence. We'll talk about it. Plus, I got audio from a lot of individuals, up to and including Stephen Miller, who's going off when it comes to a government shutdown that is looming. We'll talk about all that and more on the way. Plus, at 11:35, we got the lightning round loaded up and ready to go. I got some good stories for the lightning round today. Do you know that? You better be ready.
What you got, Brother Chris?
I got a storm of brewing, Ken.
All right. Do we need to issue a warning?
We might have to. Might have to. Did you see the new presidential portraits?
No.
All right, well, that's going to be first up.
All right.
11:35. We'll talk about that. But on the way, updates on the Dallas ICE shooter and more. Hang out with us. 615-737-9986. This is Super Talk.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Kingston Springs, Cheatham County drivers got rolling roadblocks, and the right lane is blocked to fix potholes. This is going to be 40 eastbound right there at exit 188. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Amazon has agreed to a $2.5 billion settlement with the Federal Trade Commission to resolve allegations that it deceptively enrolled customers in its Prime subscription service and intentionally made the cancellation process difficult. Amazon, in agreeing to the settlement, did not admit any fault. The settlement includes fines and refunds for affected customers. We're talking about $1.5 billion for customer redress, then $1 billion in civil penalties. And war in Gaza update. Ian Pannell says Israelis know why Hamas is backing away from a ceasefire.
What you'll hear when you go to Israel, certainly off camera, is people will say Hamas was close to signing a ceasefire deal. But when France and others started to raise the prospect of recognizing a Palestinian state, Hamas felt it was, in some senses, getting something out of this tortuous, painful, bloody process. And it backed away from agreeing to any kind of ceasefire.
Now, and President Trump said to agree to a two-state solution means Hamas wins. The Palestinian president addressed the UN General Assembly today, putting all the blame on Israel, saying people in Gaza want peace if Israel's ready to stop the fighting. It's a move that the Israeli government and, as you've just heard, some family members of the hostages are rejecting. Tropical activity ramping up in the Atlantic. 2 storms could get close to the U.S. mainland soon. Here's more from ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z.
We've got Umberto that formed yesterday as a tropical storm. It will become a hurricane, pass between Bermuda and the United States. Rip currents, probably the biggest impact. But how much Umberto interacts with that next wave that will likely become Imelda and form by late week into the weekend, head over the Bahamas, and then all these other factors. There's this big upper level low, a stationary front. That is going to tell us how much South Carolina or North Carolina gets in the way of rain, wind, and potential even landfall.
Today, the Census Bureau published some data showing new home sales surging more than 20% to their highest level in over 3 years. ABC's Jim Ryan says sales of existing homes did not follow suit.
The National Association of Realtors reports that sales of previously owned homes were essentially flat in August, falling 0.2% from July. It's higher income house hunters signing on the line. Sales of homes priced below $100,000 fell more than 10% from a year ago, while sales of homes priced above $1 million gained 8% year over year. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. There's some news breaking on the internet. Did you see that?
Well,
apparently, our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, has ordered a rare, urgent meeting of hundreds of generals and admirals. The Pentagon has summoned military officials from around the world for a gathering in Virginia. Even top generals and their staffs don't know the reason for the meeting. This is what we got breaking. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered hundreds of U.S. generals and admirals to urgently gather at Marine Corps Base in Virginia next week with no stated reason. All officers, brigadier general and above, including commanders from Europe, the Middle East, and Asia Pacific, are expected. Senior Pentagon correspondent said, "I've never seen anything like this in my past 30 years of reporting on the U.S. military. We might be going to war." Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov states that NATO and the European Union have declared war on Russia through Ukraine, according to the Russian state media outlet TASS. And we've seen a rise in the rhetoric against Putin from Donald Trump. I don't want to go to war with Russia. I don't want nukes flying. I don't think that I would want to trade any American city for Kyiv. But it's interesting. We don't know much. We're just speculating. But I mean, the rhetoric has ramped up. Trump is in the Oval Office right now with Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan, and he's going hard on Russia.
They were talking about both. I'd like to have him stop buying any oil from Russia while Russia continues this rampage against Ukraine. And they've been fighting. They've lost millions of lives already. And for what? For what? It's disgraceful. And I said yesterday, let it keep going because their economy is absolutely terrible right now. And I think it's a shame that they're doing that, killing a lot of people unnecessarily. 7,818 people were killed last week, mostly military people. They're people.
I mean, the rhetoric is definitely sharpened from President Trump when it comes to Putin. He's definitely annoyed. I don't know. I feel like we have our own problems to deal with as opposed to saving Ukraine and NATO and Europe. I'm not a huge fan of that. Elsewhere in America, we have a ton of issues. Per the New York Times, over half a dozen U.S. attorneys have been ordered to draft up plans on investigating an organization funded by George Soros. I think that's far more important to the safety and security of America. I mean, we're seeing the left-wing radical violence on the rise. Got new information about the FBI investigation into Dallas shooter Joshua Jan, revealing new details. He had downloaded a list of DHS facilities. He had repeated searches of the Charlie Kirk shooting. He tracked ICE agent movements through apps. I wonder if they're using the ICE Block app. And he had a handwritten note saying, hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror. Radical leftist. You'll still hear the Democrats say that he's not. I mean, just all day yesterday, we had the media outlets covering for this guy, which was insane. But I think that this is a far more pressing issue to America, Antifa and the rise in left-wing violence. I'm not saying we can't walk and chew gum. I just don't really want to go to war with Russia. Do you? And maybe that's not it. But again, an unprecedented meeting of hundreds of generals and admirals happening next week. No reason given for the meeting yet. Even the top generals and their staffs don't know the reason. Only speculating at this time. I hope we just continue to focus on what's in front of us, which is this rise in left-wing violence. We're seeing it all over the place, and the media keeps covering for them. MSNBC was suggesting that the messages written on the bullets was inspired by right-wing violence. It's just frustrating to hear this kind of stuff, but this is what they do.
The writing. The first time we really saw that was Brenton Tarrant in the Christchurch shooting in a mosque in New Zealand, and he was a fierce, white supremacist and neo-Nazi, and wrote all over his weapon and his rounds very hateful information. So to see.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, listen, I'm not advocating for violence, and I think what he did was awful, but he wrote Ebba Ackerland on his rifle, that guy did. Ebba Ackerland was a young girl who was run over and split into two pieces at the Christmas market in Germany, and that terror attack with a truck of peace. So yeah, this is but this new guy, Joshua Jan, he's being inspired by white supremacists.
This coming from potentially the other side of the political spectrum is a little strange because it is not something, if you are trying to, carry out some kind of message countering, more extreme right-wing stuff, I don't know why you would, use a tactic that a famous white supremacist who has been revered and copycatted over the years by other white supremacists, why you would do that. But
name the copycats, please. Name them. You're going to have a hard time doing that. And nobody reveres him in the conservative movement. We think what he did was vile and evil, as it was. But they're doing anything they can to tie the Dallas shooter to the right. Anything they can. What they need to do is look in the mirror and look at their own rhetoric, what they do and how they demonize ICE agents. Ron DeSantis was talking about this last night with Jesse Waters. And DeSantis, I think he's eyeballing 2028, but he's saying all the right things. This was him last night.
Well, this is a governor, Jesse, who is saying that he does not want ICE agents to put masks on, and they're doing that for their safety because there's a threat to them and their family out there, as we saw with the shooting today and the threats that come in daily to them. But this is the same governor who forced 2-year-olds to wear masks during COVID, and he wielded executive power to muzzle people. And so I think he thinks that he just has ultimate power to do this. But what his rhetoric is doing, what his actions, what other supposedly mainstream politicians in the Democratic Party have done is to put a target on the back of our ICE agents.
Yeah, I think that's a far bigger concern here in America as opposed to Russia. Ron DeSantis kept going in on Gavin Newsom, though, during this interview, it's always a good time.
I've never seen them get mad. I never have seen them get this mad when American citizens are killed by illegal aliens. I've never seen Gavin Newsom comfort an angel mom. I've never seen these liberal Democrat senators talk about the victims of illegal immigration. That's not anything they do. They reserve all their ire for the people that are wearing the uniform and just doing what the law commands them to do.
Yep. I mean, that's what we get from these left-wing radicals. And the mainstream media echoes this every chance they get. Again, you heard MSNBC there trying to point the finger at right-wingers. Oh, right-wingers are inspiring. Right-wing violence is inspiring this stuff. It's like, no. The Democrats are inspiring this stuff. The media is inspiring this stuff. I mean, listen to the way the MSNBC covers the ICE facility shooting and how they covered the Charlie Kirk assassination.
And it stood out to me, obviously, because we have seen just the rhetoric escalate. We've also seen the very dramatic videos of ICE nabbing individuals and tossing them into unmarked vehicles. A lot of these ICE agents have been masked, and so it has been very divisive.
Very divisive. ICE is very divisive,
and there's been a lot of fear in the different communities. And the
and then this is how they covered Charlie Kirk.
FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and the investigation. Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure.
Yeah, so Charlie gets shot and he's divisive. ICE gets shot because they're divisive. So, what are we doing? The left-wing violence is one of the biggest problems that this country is facing right now. We need to keep our eyes on it. We need to keep our eyes on what we can fix here in this country first. I don't want a war with Russia. Maybe that's just me. I want more accountability. Accountability might be coming for one James Comey. He could be indicted for lying to Congress. This broke yesterday, and it's pretty exciting news. This comes after Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that Bondi needs to get her act together. Right after that, he posted about how much he loved Bondi, but he was like, why are we waiting around not indicting these individuals when we have them dead to rights? I saw a meme last night, and it said, the AG we wanted, and it was a picture of Matt Gaetz, and it said, the AG we got, and it's Bill Barr photoshopped with blonde hair. So, yeah. Maybe we'll get an indictment of Comey soon.
And bringing a prosecution against James Comey for the potentially alleged lying to Congress. Does that mean that because there is not the same forthcoming statute of limitations against Adam Schiff or Letitia James, that they might be also still under the threat of prosecution, that indictments against them might also still be coming?
Fingers crossed.
Well, I think we can't rule out anything given that, what happened in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah, we can't rule out anything. Donald Trump's going after his political opponents. We've never seen anything like it. The funny thing is, James Comey, I mean, during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, it was late September of 2020, Comey was questioned about leaking details of his conversations with President Trump to the media, which then led to the appointment of the special counsel to investigate Russia collusion. Right? It was a hoax. Comey denied authorizing such a leak, however, is later revealed that he had indeed facilitated the leak through a friend, a law professor, who then passed that information on to the press. They have him nailed. They got him. Comey deserves to be held accountable. He deserves to be held accountable for a lot of things. I still haven't seen any accountability when it came to his seashell threats. Letitia James may also be held accountable here in the coming days as well on her big mortgage fraud case. If the clip will load. Here we go.
James, the New York Attorney General, with mortgage fraud. And of course, Donald Trump, we all saw it posted on Truth Social in recent days, exhorting his Attorney General to charge both of those people as soon as possible. But again, this is grand juries are secret. This is a fluid situation. It's also important to know, though, that the U.S. attorney, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in this office, Eric Siebert, was essentially forced out last week, in part because he was refusing to bring these cases. We're told that he was opposed to prosecuting both James and Comey on these grounds, and he's out. Office is expected
you should
to
be out. If you don't want to enforce the law, if you don't want to prosecute these cases because you're a political hack, you should be gone. All of these individuals need to be held accountable if we want to have any trust in these institutions moving forward. Oh, but pendulum swing, gee whiz. Who would think? Who would think? Oh, Republicans won't be in office forever. This could come back on the Republicans. Do you not remember them jailing Peter Navarro, Steve Bannon, trying to put Donald Trump in jail for 700 years? Yeah, miss me with the pendulum will swing. Republicans won't be in office. Stephen Miller demanded accountability last night on Laura Ingram's show. This is Miller, he's one of my faves.
To make on that subject or question, but I'm always happy to talk about disgraced former FBI Director James Comey, who of course is corrupt, who of course has been engaged in vast amounts of illicit and unlawful conduct, who of course was at the center of the Russiagate attack and assault on American democracy. There are so many people, Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Monaco, all across the government under previous administrations who have worked tirelessly to try to dismantle our democracy. And it has to lead somewhere to accountability.
Got to be
Amen. Let's hope we get it. Jake Tapper over on CNN was very distraught over this. He says Trump is just going after his political opponents.
And just to be clear here, President Trump wanting a prosecution of James Comey, does it matter what the charge is, or he just wants his political enemies charged with something?
Well, I think to prosecutors it matters. I mean, I don't think that the president is necessarily the closest observer of the criminal law, but I do think that for prosecutors, they realize there has to be a case that they can argue.
It's pretty easy of a case if you're going to get him on perjury. It seems like it's open and shut. It's a layup drill. We'll see what happens, though. But the Democrats are an absolute mess. When we get back, we're going to dive into some of the polling. Scott Jennings, his podcast, he went in on the polling. Democrats are underwater on every single issue. I love to see it, especially as we inch closer and closer to midterms. The Democrats can't win any argument. They're losing on every single issue, and we love to see it. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand, and I have some shocking news for you. Your carpets are disgusting. They're gross. They're gross. Seriously. I've been there too. I got 4 kids and 2 dogs. I'm not in an ivory tower, but when my carpets get gross, I call Zero Res of Nashville. They use their exclusive ZR water, no soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue, which means the carpets and the upholsteries don't just look insanely clean, they're going to stay clean longer. Then my kids can sprawl it on the floor, dogs can roll around, we don't have to worry about what's in the fiber. And it's not just carpets, they'll do everything. Did you know your air ducts are gross as well? Your tile, your rugs, your upholstery. Zero Res will clean it all up. They'll do the works. It's perfect if you're dealing with what we're dealing with all these kids running around the house, and they can get you some great deals. Here's what you got to do. Call Zero Res of Nashville right now, 615-535-9376. Say, please, Zero Res, I need your help. And they'll say right away, sir, and they'll be on their way. 615-535-9376, or find them online, ZeroResNashville.com.
Did you see these people in Washington, D.C. and their stupid chant?
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
So here's why this is dumb. Because Donald Trump sending in the National Guard is to stop the murders. Donald Trump is actually saving lives. Over the last 2.5 years, they have had 561 black people murdered in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump is sending in the National Guard to stop the crime. So Donald Trump is actually saving black lives.
All right, drivers, I'm seeing rolling roadblocks blocking the right lane of 40 eastbound in Pegram. This is for pothole repair. Also, some road work near the airport, Donaldson Pike, both northbound, southbound, I-40 diverging Diamond. Amazon has agreed to a $2.5 billion settlement for the way it was signing people up for Prime. Says it didn't do anything wrong, but it's going to pay that settlement coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You know, now that you mention that, I feel like they've wronged me as well. Can I get in on it? It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Ken Weaver on the way with the headlines. Mason Fleming producing. You guys on the phone lines and the text line, 615-737-9986. If you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble, hit like, hit subscribe. We appreciate it when you do so. So the government shutdown is looming. I don't know. Is it bad that I don't get interested in these stories? I'm a little bit more excited about this one.
Happens every year.
I know. I think the thing that I'm most excited about is they're saying if the government does shut down, there's going to be mass layoffs and furloughs. I like that part.
I'm waiting for President Trump to start calling it the Schumer shutdown.
Yeah, well, that's already been going around online.
Okay.
We'll see that happening. President Trump canceled a meeting this week with two top Democrats in Congress days before the federal government is set to shut down if a funding deal can't be reached. Yeah, all right. I don't care. I don't know. Donald Trump on True Social. The Democrats want illegal aliens, many of them violent criminals, to receive free health care. The Democrats want $500 million to help radical left news outfits. The Democrats want to leave dead people on Medicaid and Social Security rolls so that criminals can continue to be allowed to receive that payment and steal their money. The Democrats want to cut billions of dollars from our once vulnerable rural hospitals, which we fixed by giving them the largest cash infusion ever. The Democrats want men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, open borders, and perhaps most importantly of all, a 5-letter word, crime. They like it. We don't. And so many other things that will destroy America. We cannot let this happen. The conversation online is saying that the lack of the meeting does hinge on $1 trillion for taxpayer-funded trans surgeries for kids and illegal alien health care. Stephen Miller on Laura Ingraham last night.
Well, the Democrats are demanding free health care for illegal aliens. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have been clear. They will not fund law enforcement. They will not fund the military. They will not fund public safety. They will not fund the operations of the federal government that your tax dollars pay for unless they get free health care for illegal aliens. That is the biggest losing message and the biggest losing argument in American history. We will see if there's enough Democrat senators who are dumb enough to follow Chuck Schumer off the edge of that cliff.
Well, I would imagine that there are plenty of Democrat senators that are dumb enough to do that. Scott Jennings, though, yesterday on his podcast, he put this clip on X. He's like, this is just going to be another failure for the Democrat Party. They're underwater on every single issue. The Americans trust Republicans more on every single issue.
The polling right now could not be more of a mess for the Democratic Party than it is. We talked about this Reuters Ipsos survey, and John was right. It's a little tilted against Republicans. It's not even likely voters. It's just adults. Here are all the issues on which Republicans lead. Crime by 20, immigration by 18, foreign conflicts by 12, economy by 10, corruption by 6. The Democrats have spent the entire year arguing that Donald Trump is corrupt. Who do adults believe has a better plan to solve government corruption? Republicans.
Weird.
These adults in this survey preferred Republicans on gun control, R+4, a 4-point lead. Political extremism, they trust Republicans. Again, Democrats have spent all year long arguing that Donald Trump and the Republicans are so extreme that they are akin to Nazis and fascists and authoritarians. Gavin Newsom says they're going to cancel the elections. Democracy's in danger. The country will fade away. And the American people are telling the pollsters, no, we trust the Republicans to solve the issue of political extremism.
This is what we're seeing everywhere. But you know what? I'm sure letting the government be shut down over transgender surgeries for kids and healthcare for illegal aliens, that's a recipe for success. It's 11:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. And Amazon's being fined $2.5 billion over how it handles signups and cancellations of its Prime subscription service. $1.5 billion will go towards Amazon customers who the Federal Trade Commission says were tricked into enrolling in Prime. The online retailer will also pay $1 billion in civil penalties, the largest fine in Federal Trade Commission history. Amazon has admitted no wrongdoing.
But Ken, I got duped.
You better sign up, Brother Chris.
All right, I will.
TikTok is going to be saved, according to reports that say President Trump scheduled to sign a deal that involves the Fox Corporation.
TikTok's U.S. operations will now be run by this new joint venture, with American users' data stored in the U.S. and overseen by the cloud computing firm Oracle. And perhaps most importantly, this new ownership group will get a copy of the algorithm, that secret sauce that makes TikTok so addictive. Trump says other American investors, including Michael Dell of Dell Technologies and the Murdoch family, will also play a role.
That's Mary Bruce reporting. Ian Pannell has been reporting on the war in Gaza. He tells us many in Israel will say off camera they think Hamas backed out of this ceasefire after France, the UK, and others started calling for a two-state solution to end the war. Here's Ian on what we will likely hear when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addresses the UN General Assembly today.
We should expect to see Netanyahu in fighting form. He said on the tarmac, this was before he got on the plane with his wife to fly to New York, I will condemn those leaders who, instead of denouncing the murderous, rapists and child burners, want to give them a state in the heart of the land of Israel. And I think that's going to be his main contentious point.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Shane Ring destroying the myths about health insurance. The biggest myth is that you have to wait for open enrollment to get health insurance. That's wrong. It's just wrong. That's what the big guys want you to think. With Cover Nash, you can get covered right now. No waiting, no gimmicks. Maybe you missed open enrollment. They got you covered. You just lost your job. You lost your coverage. Cover Nash has you covered. You're just sick of overpriced junk insurance. Well, you're in the right place. CoverNash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand-new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, even for specialists, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care, physicals, colonoscopies. Not that you're excited about that. The works, though. Plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, even small businesses. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, and stop thinking you're stuck. Go to CoverNash.com or call 615-465-0023. 615-465-0023. CoverNash.com.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
It's 11:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can find us anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial, YouTube, Rumble, hit like, hit subscribe. Find me on social media at Chris Hand on Air. That's on True Social, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. But without further ado, it's time for Mason's favorite part of the show.
How'd you know?
I know you, man. We've been working together for too long. I know you like the back of my hand.
Uh-oh.
It's the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day this time. We highlight all the stories that couldn't fill a whole segment, stories that we didn't have time to get to, stories that you might have missed, stories that we just think are funny.
It's a little goofy.
Any last minute hot takes, ice cold takes that you got, 615-737-9986. We begin today, the lightning round, with what might be the best troll of all time. President Trump hung some new portraits in the White House of all the presidents. And you got them. It's Clinton, Carter, Reagan. I mean, they're all in chronological order. And then you get to Clinton, and then you get to Bush, then you get Obama. You get first Trump 1.0, and then you get a framed picture of the auto pen. My wife, I'm doing show prep last night. I'm just laughing. My wife said, he's so petty. I said, I know, I love him.
It's so good.
It's Joseph R. Biden Jr., 2021 to 2025, and it's a picture of the auto pen signature. Unbelievable. I love a good troll. We call it, we do a little trolling. We do a little trolling. I don't understand why these guys hate him.
No idea.
I have no idea. I would get a framed picture of that in my house.
Oh, yeah?
I actually might do it in the studio. I think that would be hilarious.
That would be great. Or you get one of those video frames where it'll just play the signature over and over again.
That's hilarious. Maybe I'll do that. All right, that's a good idea too. I got another story for you here in the lightning round. The lightning round. Here we go. Thank you. Storms off in the distance. It's your favorite segment. All right, so this is actually pretty cool. Legislation's being filed in the House to place Charlie Kirk on 400,000 silver dollar coins in 2026.
I saw that.
Isn't that cool?
It's kind of cool.
There's a picture of him. This is a mock-up, obviously. But they're saying these coins would have well done, good and faithful servant on one side, Charlie's face on the other. They would be considered legal tender and have his full name, Charles James Kirk, on the coin, per Fox News. Being filed by Rep. Abraham Hamadeh and August Pfluger. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and President Trump would choose the coin's final design. I think that would be a great way to honor him.
That'd be cool.
If we can get Sacagawea on a coin, we can do Charlie Kirk. What's wrong?
Nothing.
You going to say something about, you have something rude to say about Sacagawea?
No.
You better not.
I don't.
Good.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing to say.
Nothing to say.
Hero.
I was just going to say, would you rather him be on the quarter or would you rather him be on a $50 or something? I don't know if you have.
Is it going to be a silver dollar?
Is it a silver dollar?
That's what they said. Yeah, it's going to be a silver dollar.
I read that wrong.
I think it'd be better than Susan B. Anthony.
Oh, for sure.
Like a lady sewing back then. What's remarkable about that? Sorry.
No comment.
Okay, I just didn't think it's that remarkable. They all did. What's it? What?
They all did.
They all did it. They all knew how to do it. I didn't think it was that great of a story. What? Is that a hot take?
I don't know. Phone line's open. 615.
All you ladies sewed back then.
That's all you did.
That's all they did. It was pop out kids and sew. Have dinner ready. It was a simpler time.
I found my next promo for you.
Did you? Oh, no. Oh, no. All right.
Can't take it back now.
I got another story for you in the lightning round.
I wasn't even.
You weren't even ready.
I wasn't even ready for it.
No! It's just a fact that they sewed. Sewn? It's past tense. Nobody sews anymore.
You're right.
I got my daughter. She's going to sewing class. Homeschooling for the win. This could be a prim and proper lady. Maybe she'll get on a coin. I'll tell her, aim high.
Aim high.
Aim high.
I might get a coin one day.
Nobody sews anymore. It's a lost. It's a lost skill.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking. Maybe she deserves the coin after all.
Yeah. It's like I sew.
You sew?
I know how to.
I'm not putting you on a coin.
All right. My hopes up there. Where are we again?
I don't know. It's the lightning round. It's okay. I saw this clip over the weekend. Or no, it wasn't over the weekend. All my days are melting together. I still haven't slept. This is from a couple days ago, Monday. Marco Rubio versus George Slopadopoulos. And Rubio. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you about Rubio. There are two members of the cabinet that I wasn't really gung-ho about. The first was Pam Bondi. Still not gung-ho.
Yeah, still not a fan.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
But I wasn't gung-ho about Rubio. And I have been so happy to be proven wrong. He has been just unbelievable. Lights out. He was on with Slopadopoulos, and Slopadopoulos is like, hey, Marco, little Marco, People are dying because you cut USAID funding, and Rubio says that is bovine scatology.
We shut down AID because it was a dysfunctional organization. We moved it under the State Department. Number two, we are going to do more foreign aid than any country in the world. We're going to do more than anyone in the world, again, this year. But we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it holistically. We're going to do it as part of an integrated foreign policy. We are not going to fund an NGO industrial complex that built itself up, that was taking a substantial percentage of the money and not going directly to the recipients. It was going to these organizations that had multi-billion-dollar projects and budgets. We're not going to continue to do it that way. We are going to provide aid. We're providing aid now. We just rolled out our new initiative on health. It's going to be much more successful and much more effective. We're going to enter into direct compacts with the countries. We're going to empower our embassies and our ambassadors to direct which projects we fund and how much money countries are going to be receiving. So we are restructuring the way we do aid. It's going to be far more effective, and it's going to be integrated into our holistic foreign policy.
That's all in the future. But are you standing by that comment? You're saying that no one has died?
No, it's happening now. That's not in the future.
No one has
happening
died
now.
because of the aid cuts?
Nobody's died? Marco, people dying every day. Don't you know that? People die every day, Marco. But because of the aid cuts, and Rubio gets a bit pissed here.
Are all those aid organizations
That's
lying?
ridiculous. Well, first of all, then they died because England didn't give enough money, or Canada didn't give more, or China did. Let's blame the other countries that don't do any foreign aid. How about China? I mean, China's the second largest economy in the world. They don't give money to these
So you're
projects.
no longer disputing that the aid cuts have cost people's
money?
lives. You're no longer disputing that.
It didn't. I think anybody who tells you that somehow it's the United States, if we cut $1, somehow we're responsible for some horrific thing that's going on in the world is just not true. Beyond that, I would say that in some of these places
well, if that dollar's not going to feeding someone medicine, someone's going to die, aren't
One of the
they?
reasons why some of these places didn't get the aid is not because we cut the aid. It's because there's a war going on and the aid never got to the people. So in Sudan, for example, it's not just a humanitarian catastrophe, it's a war zone. Okay, the aid is stolen, the aid is impeded. In fact, they use aid as a tool against the people, and so blocking aid as a tool and an arm of war. So in some of these places, the reason why the aid isn't getting there is it can't be distributed. Look at Haiti. One of the reasons why aid can't be distributed in Haiti is you can send all the aid in the world you want. It gets hijacked and stolen by criminal gangs that control the country.
Rubio is not taking anything laying down, and I love it. I love the fight. You know what he reminds me of? Gino Balso. Sorry.
Take that back.
Sorry. Also, I got some cleaning up to do. I mixed up Susan B. Anthony and Betsy Ross. Susan B. was women's suffrage. Betsy Ross made the flag. I still think even more so now that she doesn't deserve to be on the court. Also got something here. Jason says Mason needs remedial lightning training.
Yeah, listen. There's not much carpet in here. It's hard to build up that much static for every lightning shock that Chris asked for.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Also, I mean, I still stand by sewing not being a big accomplishment.
I stand by what I said.
I stand by what I said. And women voting, am I right?
Hold on.
It is the lightning round. We do hot takes.
We do hot takes.
Sorry.
May not necessarily be right.
No.
But it's hot, right?
It's spicy. It is definitely spicy. You know who else is wrong a lot?
Who?
Wait for this. This is a heck of a transition. Jerome Powell, which leads us to our next story in the lightning round. Too late, Jerome. He admitted on the world stage that, it turns out tariffs, they're not being passed along to consumers. It's not a tax on the American consumer, and they're not affecting inflation.
We're now collecting a good bit of revenue. The federal government collecting a good chunk of revenue, $300 billion a year pace. And the question is, who's paying that? And the candidates for paying those tariffs would be the exporter, the foreign exporter, or someone on our shores. It could be a company or a retailer, or someone who's using the imported product to manufacture something, or the end consumer. And so so far, and it's incredibly early days, it doesn't look like the overseas exporters are carrying the bulk of it. It looks like it's that middle group. It's retailers and it's importers, and they're not passing along to consumers that much of the cost. So the actual effects on inflation have been quite modest so far. It's really not It's a small amount, but I mean, for example.
Are you telling me Trump was right about everything, sir? Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's saying? I think that's what he's saying. Trump 2028. What?
That's what he's saying.
I got a text here. It says, back in the day, women had to sew because men hadn't invented Walmart yet.
Oh, you're right.
I'm in danger.
Let the record show that was from Nolene. That was from a woman. I got a text here, 3157. You know, there's no voting machines in the kitchen. oh, that's terrible. Who would say such a thing?
Who would do that?
3157 would. Terrible. Mason and I wouldn't say anything like that.
Absolutely.
Me either.
Allegedly.
Watch it, Jack.
Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Let's talk about Ron Wyden's kids. I've wanted to talk about Ron Wyden's kids. U.S. Senator Ron Wyden, he's a Democrat out of Oregon. He's the guy whose face looks like melted plastic. What? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's called.
Now I got to look at him.
It's called theater of the mind, guys. That's what we have to do for our radio audience, because if the people aren't watching on YouTube, they don't see the picture of Ron Wyden and his face that looks like melted plastic. I'm not here to judge, and I'm not saying it's a bad look. I'm just here to describe things. That's what I get paid to do.
I'm in danger.
All right, this messed up though.
Just a little bit.
No, the story's messed up. Yeah, his face is definitely. Yeah, his face is a little bit chewed, but anyway, I'm in danger.
That's a nasty one. That's nasty.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. All right, so Senator Ron Wyden, he's a Democrat. He's a big LGBTQIA plus two-spirit ally.
Correct.
Obviously. Well, there's a new lawsuit alleging that his kids harassed the mom's personal assistant with homophobic taunts and sexually explicit comments, driving the assistant to suicide.
Oh, no.
Be an ally. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
I told you it was going to get worse.
You weren't lying.
Details of the lawsuit reported by the New York Post present a stark contrast to the record of Senator Wyden, who's been a longtime advocate in Congress in support of gay, lesbian, and transgender issues. For 2 years, ending in 2024, 35-year-old Brandon O'Brien worked for Nancy Bass Wyden, the senator's wife and owner of Strand Bookstore in Manhattan. She owns a bookstore in Manhattan, and he's the senator of Oregon?
Hold on. Something's not adding up here.
The math ain't mathin'. O'Brien's tasks included driving the couple's young children to school in New York City. Is this senator from Oregon? His kids go to school in New York City? It's a little weird. And watching them at Disney World. That checks out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The lawsuit filed by O'Brien's husband, Thomas Maltezos, against Bass Wyden and her company, Bass Real Estate LLC in Manhattan Superior Court, alleges disturbing behavior by the couple's kids that began about 3 months after O'Brien took the job, when the couple's 10-year-old daughter exposed herself to the assistant and made explicit comments as she asked him about his intimate life. The husband also alleges in the suit that the mom did nothing about the incident. Additionally, Wyden's teenage son berated O'Brien with homophobic slurs. Slurs such as the F word, and I didn't mean to laugh, but the next one got me. Zest kitten.
Oh, no.
I'm just reading the news, boys. I'm just doing the news.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, Zest kitten. Is that a bad one?
I don't know. It's not one I've heard before.
These kids, what are we going to do with these kids?
What are they doing?
The teenage boy also allegedly threatened that his football team would rape the assistant. Heck of an ally. The son's behavior was so out of control that his mom had once had to mace her son, but inadvertently maced the gay assistant in the process. According to court papers. This is according to court papers. The Widens are calling the lawsuit baseless and deeply misguided. So they say it's a cover for O'Brien's own serious misconduct and a pattern of theft from the household. I'm going to be following this story, and I'll give you all the updates should they become available.
Oh,
It's a spicy one.
it's a little bit.
Zest kitten. That does it for the lightning round. It's 11:54. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hannon. I got to tell you about my friends over at Better Water LLC. If you're tired of weird smells, stains, or just plain old bad tasting water at your house or at the office, these are the guys you need to call. Think of it like just installing a giant Brita filter for your whole house, under your sink, or even for your whole business, and they can handle everything. You could have some nasty stuff in your water: sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. You name it, though, they got a system for it. And if you got the nasty stuff in, they offer a range of options: reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights. Better Water has you covered. These guys are local. They're based out of Smyrna, and they're already treating the water at local coffee shops around town and even the hospitals that you might visit. So stop drinking the junk out of your tap and give Better Water a call today. 615-355-6063. 615-355-6063. Or find them online at betterwater.com. So Trump announced today he's federalizing D.C. police to put an end to violent crime in Washington, D.C. Naturally, leftists are losing their mind and completely unhinged.
We believe there is a better way to protect us all. One that respects rights to build trust and keep our communities truly safe, and that is fascism-free.
Free of what?
That is fascism-free.
Fascism-free? Fascism-free. Oh, okay, hang on one second. Hey, Brooks, come here. F-A-S-C-I-S-M.
Fascism?
Correct, fascism. I didn't mean to turn this into an ad for homeschooling versus public schooling, yet here we are.
Maybe she should have proofread that.
11:59, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Chad Benson in studio. What are you paying attention to today, Chad? What are you going to be talking about?
The world's fastest car. We got a new world's fastest production car. We're talking about that because that's entertaining.
What does that mean?
So Bugatti held the record.
How fast was it?
That was 306, and the new one goes 309, but it's not a Bugatti.
Is that a big difference?
At 300 miles an hour, it's kind of hard to tell. It's been a long time since I went 309 miles an hour in anything.
I was on a plane the other day.
That went, yeah, but you don't really get the sense of how fast you're going. You feel like you're floating.
True. You are.
Yeah. Well, actually, the plane just goes in the air and then the earth moves around.
It's actually just a time machine, and you just sit in a pod, and you don't go anywhere.
Yes. So I know we're talking about that. We got some other stuff. I'm sure we'll talk some politics, pop culture. Who knows what else we'll talk about? What'd you talk about? Zest kitten.
We talked about a lot of things. Be careful. The audience gets testy about sewing.
That's what I heard. Right?
It's just, we
suffrage and sewing both start with an S.
We learn things every day. Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$12 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top story.